Hey ladies and gentlemen, Steven here from Redolessence. Welcome back to another video. I really appreciate you all tuning in. And in today's episode, I have a very exciting announcement. I would like to wish everybody a happy Fragrance Day and make sure to stay tuned so you know what is in store for today's video. So keep it right there. Before I begin today's video, I do want to take a moment to talk to you a little bit about the creative director for this brand. His name is George Zaharoff. I had the pleasure of meeting him at Menfluential 2019. So I flew into Atlanta, Georgia last month, and I was actually speaking on a fragrance panel. And so I ended up being introduced to him. I actually knew he was attending. So I went up to him, I introduced myself to him, and he and I got to chatting. And having owned his fragrance, I said, you know, why don't we collaborate on something really special? So in commemoration, I guess you could say, of Fragrance Day, what we're going to be doing is, for the link that I've left down below, you do not need to purchase anything. For the link I've left down below, all you need to do is, if you plan on requesting a fragrance sample will be sent to you for absolutely free for as long as supplies last. And for the first 100 people to request a fragrance sample and to write "Steven sent me" in the description, you will get a limited edition numbered print of the blueprint of the bottle and all of the specifications in there and everything. It's absolutely awesome. And so I remember talking to George on Facebook Messenger, and we were going back and forth, and we were sharing pictures of the blueprints back and forth and how we wanted to model it and present it. And it was so cool. And so it's gonna have Zaharoff X Redolessence on it. It is a limited edition numbered print. Like I said, only 100 will be made. And I think it's a really cool piece of fragrance memorabilia for you to collect. It's certainly an artifact that I would be proud to display in my quote-unquote studio. So for the first 100 people who follow the link down below, just let them know Steven sent me. You will get a free sample. You don't even have to pay for shipping or anything. And for the first 100 people, you will also get a limited edition print. So let's go ahead and get it started with the review of this fragrance. So the perfumer for this fragrance is Claude Deer. Claude Deer has done a lot of work for Hugo Boss, Bond No. 9, Lacoste, the list goes on. And this fragrance in particular is a fragrance that is very sentimental to the creative director, George Zaharoff. This is one that he's been working on for a very long time, and it is one that is classified as a chypre fragrance. So this one actually does contain blue cypress. It also has a lot of other green notes like patchouli and balsam fir. There's even a little bit of vetiver in here as well. So we're going to be talking about all of the notes and how I interpret the smell. Let's go ahead and start off the review by taking a closer look at the presentation. So the box opens up just like this. And on the inside, you will see a positive message, and each box has a different message. You might see some recurring messages, but for the most part, there are many different messages or affirmations that you can find on the inside of the box. And I really do like this metal looking plaque here on the front. As far as the bottle is concerned, you have the Zaharoff logo here on the front. You also have it up here on the bottom right-hand corner of the cap. Very unique shape to the bottle. On the very bottom is where you will find your information if you're looking to authenticate your purchase. The cap does click into place very securely. You can pick this one up from the cap, and the distribution on the atomizer is nice and wide. Let's continue with the smell. So as soon as this fragrance opens up to my nose, it definitely sort of conveys a bit of like a fougere feel. But it's not a fougere in the traditional sense of it smelling like a barbershop type fragrance, because I don't think I get that necessarily from this one. So with a lot of fougere fragrances that I have in my collection, it actually has a lot of bergamot, a lot of citrus notes that really open up the composition. Here you get a little bit of citrus, but it's not something that really captures your attention, so to speak. This is really base heavy. So it's more about a lot of the base notes and the mid notes that are used in here. So you have iris from Florence, you have vetiver that's used in the base, you have patchouli, you have olibanum tears, frankincense, obviously frankincense tears. It is a type of resin, and so it kind of conveys this incensey mystical component to the fragrance. But inevitably and undeniably, this is a green fragrance. This is a chypre in the true sense of the word. So chypre is a French word that means cypress, like the cypress tree. And so you do have a lot of those verdant elements that are going on in the base, and sometimes I'm not quite sure if I'm getting more cypress or if I'm getting more patchouli. I think it's equally green. But what I do pick up on is a little bit of this sort of wispy floral quality in the mid that I think I can attribute to the iris in there, but it also opens up a little peppery as well. And that's a really important point to bring across. So there's pimento leaves and there's also black pepper that's used in here. Now, it's not like an Hermes Poivre Samarkand that comes across like overly peppery. It's going to make you sneeze or choke you out, or it's going to be aggressive or anything like that. It really isn't. I think it's more about the green elements and a bit of like that floral nuance in the mid. It kind of conveys this old world feel about it. And so it's a fragrance that I would definitely recommend for a mature gentleman, somebody who's very well dressed, somebody who is attending maybe like a private event, perhaps it'd be a wedding or something of that sort, and he wants to put his best foot forward. He certainly wants heads to turn, and this is a fragrance that would work so well just dressed up. As long as you can afford it. I know it is available at Nordstrom for under $100. It's a very affordable fragrance, and so this one can be worn casually as a result of that inexpensive price tag, or what I would consider inexpensive. But all in all, I do think it's a very approachable, very safe, very wearable fragrance. Like I said, it kind of has like that antique sort of chypre vibe to it. I really like the harmony that all of the notes in here sort of play off with one another. The only other thing that I would like to add is that for a split second, I almost picked up on a bit of like an astringent quality in the mid, which I was given to understand, or I thought at least, was coming from some type of juniper berry note or accord. As I looked at the note breakdown on Nordstrom's website, there is no juniper berry, but I'm not denying that there's probably some other ingredient in there that is responsible for that feel. But all in all, I do think it's a very well pieced together scent made by a very accomplished perfumer. And George, thank you so much for doing this collaboration once more. It really brings me a lot of pleasure to be able to do this. And by the way, this is not a sponsored post. I'm not making any sort of money off of this, although the bottle was gifted to me. But George, thank you so much for all of your kindness and your good nature. It really means a lot. Let's finish things off with my overall assessment. So first up, in terms of its uniqueness and its overall smell, although I could probably compare it to some other fragrances like Lagerfeld Classic or perhaps even Zeno by Davidoff, when I do a side-by-side, I can certainly pick up on this one. It has this ambery base that I really like. It has the green qualities that really stand out, almost vying for attention with that lavender. So it is a unique smell, and it's incredibly pleasant as well. I have worn this to work on a number of times, and yes, I have even received a number of compliments with it. In terms of longevity, I got 8+ hours from this one. Projection was really good for the first 3 hours. It radiated within an arm's length, never beyond an arm's length, and then it started to sit a little closer to the skin, not fully becoming a skin scent until about the 6 or 7 hour of application. So the longevity and the projection on this fragrance are both very good. In terms of the versatility, I think in terms of the price point, could be worn casually, could be worn dressed up. I think the best time to wear it is actually dressed up, although I do think that this leans a little bit more classically masculine, although I do think that perfume has no gender, it has no sex, so wear what you want as long as you like the way that it smells and you can pull it off confidently. Although from a classical perspective, I think this one does lean a little bit masculine, and I think this one would work well in all seasons because it's not too loud, and I think it has enough of those bass heavy elements in it that you can pull off wearing this one in the cold weather as well. So definitely try it for yourself so you see what I'm talking about. In terms of the presentation, I do like the positive message that is found on the inside of the bottle, and of course if you take a look at the blueprint, you see that a lot of time and thought and effort and attention went into the presentation for this fragrance. I think the logo of the brand is kind of cool as well. So my final verdict on this one is I absolutely enjoy wearing this fragrance. I have worn it a lot. I've been wearing it to work, like I said before. This is one that I will continue to wear in the future, and I hope you guys have a chance to try it for yourself. Once again, all you need to do is follow the link down below. It's not a commission link or anything. I'm not making anything off of it. It's just the creative director, George Zaharoff, wants to get as many samples into people's hands as possible. And so as long as you follow the link down below, you write in there, Redolessence sent me or Steven sent me, the first 100 people to do so will not only get a sample, the sample will go on beyond 100, but the first 100 will also get a limited edition numbered blueprint of the bottle. Really cool artifact. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in. That was my review of Zaharoff, the self-titled fragrance. If you own or have tried this fragrance, I would love to know what you think. Leave a comment down below. Also, please don't forget to subscribe by clicking on that red subscribe button in the corner. This way, whenever I do upload future fragrance-related content, it will get delivered straight to your feed. You never need to worry about missing any of my future uploads, and that includes reviews just like this one, top 10 videos, giveaways, unboxings, and a whole lot of other fragrance-related content. Thanks for watching. I love you guys. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye.